I'm gonna wipe the floor with Jamil. Even his dogs like me better. There's no shot that I'm losing this challenge.
I like your confidence, bud, but I'm gonna do so many deals. I'm just gonna buy this house from Jamil.
That's pretty good.
We're taking home this trophy.
I think so.
Are we talking shit about each other?
I'm talking shit about all you guys. Yeah, you guys ain't gonna hang.
I don't know how Jamil's gonna do this at all.
His beard's getting gray. Mine is perfectly brown, so.
Mine's coming in. I need to work on it. I'm working on it too.
I haven't shaved in like a month.
I'll definitely have a big Viking beard. It's gonna be sick.
There's no way Jamil's winning at all.
The young guns taking home the trophy. These old heads out here, they think they know a lot.
Yeah, they don't even
Wisdom.
do deals anymore.
We got wisdom, my friend. That's what it is.
I think it's dogs like this more.
Yeah.
Well, this one at least.
Yeah. The agents are gonna like us more too.
These agents in AZ though, they're already locked in with us. Yeah. Yeah.
How does it feel to be Jamil's neighbors?
This is like our first time kind of hanging out with him.
He's a nice neighbor. We didn't know it was garbage day and he took it out for us.
The best part though is us living together for sure, and like being able to have you come, and like next week our other buddies coming. So we're gonna be able to have other entrepreneurs just come to the house, all like-minded individuals that are just absolutely crushing it. We can all collaborate on stuff and work together and just hang out.
High energy, just intense, and we're all just working together and masterminding basically 24/7. We're all growing so much way quicker because we're all competing with each other at the same time.
It's such a different atmosphere, so much cooler when you just have that space together. You know? It makes work a lot more fun. Yeah. And it's not even work, like it's just all day. We're just constantly doing deals.
It's already a cool location that we're just hanging out at, and then we're just doing deals because what else are we gonna do?
Right.
Jamil did hook us up. Yeah.
Trainers, what's up?
What's up, brother?
Yo, how you guys doing?
Thanks for having us.
I'm excited because you guys just moved into the mastermind house down the road. We're doing a challenge coming up here, and I was thinking about how far you guys have come along in your wholesale journey, making money, moving here when you guys are in your early 20s, really no idea what you guys were gonna do, figuring out what wholesaling was, joining the Astro community, and now you guys are like making 50, 60,000 bucks a month. I'm sure there's people out there watching right now who are like, oh, well, I'm young, I don't want to go to college, or I don't see a future for myself going and getting a sociology degree or some political science degree that's not going to really pay an ROI for me. What would you guys say were the top 3 things that you learned in your real estate investing journey, and how that could apply for people your age that are trying to do something different with their life?
The number one most important thing, and this isn't even just with wholesale, is that everything is the relationships are the most important, because all those relationships that you're building up from day one until we're going on year 4, we're still working together, we're still doing deals, and then we just make good friends with everybody that we're working with. So it's just, we're just adding to our network of just really good people to be collaborating with.
So would you say those relationships that you've been developing have all been monetized? Like you're making money on those relationships?
I think it's across all the realms. Like, you know, you have that, like when you haven't done your first deal, you need to get that belief, but like we've seen you, how many deals you were doing, and just other people we were talking to in Astro, and it kind of like gets that belief already into you, because you're already talking with people that are doing what you're trying to do.
Right, so you don't have you don't have to like climb Mount Everest to know that people climb Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, look, I'm seeing them do it.
Yeah.
Got it.
But then also too, I don't think every relationship's been monetized. There's some that inspires for health. There's some that inspires with just how their families are. There's other ones that inspire us to do more, get loud. Like, you've totally transformed our financial mindset, just how we got to take care of our people and go about our business, you know? But a lot of the relationships though, we do monetize them because like now we're like best friends and we do money, or like we make money together, which is the coolest thing ever. Like today we're paying for rent because we're doing a deal with Matty J.
Oh yeah, because you guys are pointing at Matt Justice, who's off camera right now, but you guys are doing a deal together, and you guys met in the Astro community.
Yep.
You guys have become best friends. You've traveled all through Europe. Mm-hmm. You guys, I think you guys all kissed the same girl.
No, nope, definitely not.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so you don't share girls, but you do share deals.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that one.
So the number one rule in the house is no sharing chicks and,
okay.
and no sharing underwear.
Okay.
But
is that really a rule?
Yeah. I kind of just made that up right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. He was our first person. We knew you virtually, but we didn't meet you yet. But our first day, we moved down to Arizona. He came over. He actually, we got in the car and ran straight to the dispensary. just to kick off our
So
friendship.
20-year-olds out there right now, if you're like, man, I just want to like rip bongs and make money, here's your avatar, right? These are your guys' role models. And listen, I have nothing against smoking weed. I smoke weed. You guys know that. It's something I've been honest about and transparent. Usually in these spaces, especially in my world, people want to be this squeaky clean version of like this cardboard cutout, and I'm not that guy, right? I'm like, hey, I'm real. I've got problems, but I've also figured out how to make money. So you got to take my problems with the fact that I can show you how to make money, right? So I'm not like this perfect example of a human being, but the reality is you guys just have maintained your lifestyle, right? Like you're still doing the things that you do, but you are making a lot of money in the process of doing it.
Yeah.
So what else? What's the second thing you guys learned?
I think just stay in the course, because sometimes it like comes in waves, just like everywhere in life. It'll like go up and down, but like at the down, that's where you really got to stay consistent. In the times that we weren't doing wholesale deals or just not showing up in other areas of our life was when we get sidetracked, start doing something different that hasn't worked before, and we're just trying something new.
Okay. So like this is actually really interesting to bring up, because you guys have had valleys, right? You had months where you didn't make $60,000, right? You guys have become pretty consistent now, but that's a huge problem for people that are getting into this business, because you'll get in, you get so motivated. I mean, Idea in the Astro community, right? She won't mind me talking about this, I'm sure, but like her first deal, she made like $60,000 in her first month.
Yeah.
And then she just unraveled, right? Because she started doing all this other stuff. She was like, oh, I want to do this thing now. I want to do that thing now. I want to do that thing now. And then they bought an RV, and then all of the money left. And then she was like, oh my God, I got to start over from scratch. And that happens a lot with people, and especially young people who come in and you make a ton of money off your first couple of deals. And then you sort of like kick it into neutral and you think you can coast. So yeah, speak to that, like what the consistency of doing it. So what did you learn when you were in those like valleys where there wasn't money coming in, and you were like, oh my God, like what am I doing different?
Really quick. So back to the relationships. We do deals together and we're homies, which is really cool. But our biggest month ever, we net like 110K, and your company net the same.
Wow.
And the month after that, we didn't do a deal for like 2 more months. We're just like sick. We just did our biggest month ever. We're just gonna keep racking in deals. This is great.
But we
And
also switched. We didn't just stay consistent with what we were doing. We started trying to do creative deals, started different channels of marketing, trying just to do a whole bunch of other stuff that didn't work before. And then we asked you a couple months later, after we didn't do 2 months without deals, and you're just like, well, if you made 100K, why don't you just keep doing the same thing that you've been doing?
Yeah, it's
Pretty simple.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense why change what's working.
What do you think that was though? Like what is the cause of the shiny object syndrome that I think everybody gets? What do you think causes it? Is it that you think, okay, this makes money, I want to add another thing that makes more money as well? Or is it that you get bored of it? Or like, what do you think spawns the shiny object syndrome?
I don't think it comes from, for us at least, I think everyone was telling us, oh, you got to turn this into a business. So we were just trying to like scale it too quick without really having the skills down.
Got it.
We're just trying to remove ourselves instantly after like,
after
not even at 30 deals
We were
yet.
trying to do less in the business and more on it when we didn't even have a business at that point. We just like had hustle.
Right.
So there was nothing even to operate, and we were just like, all right, cool, let's start doing this. And then no money generating activity at all. And then that's why we didn't do any deals, obviously.
Got it. So how did you right the ship?
How do we ride it?
Yeah, like how did you guys get out of that mindset of like, okay, we're working on the business, or we're, building systems, or we're tinkering in our CRMs? Like how did you guys make the pivot back into just like, hey, let's just abandon all this BS that we've been doing and let's go back to the original game plan? How did that work?
Well, we asked you, and we're just like, what are we doing wrong? We're trying to do all this. And he's just like, well, what did you do to make the 100K? Like, we just made agent phone calls every single day. And then he's like, well, why are you telling me all this when this has worked before? So it's kind of just hitting up our mentors, like going back to the relationships, but then also just doing what's worked before and keeping up. And then, since we've had that big drought, we haven't really had like a month where we haven't done a deal since then. But we just know we got to keep up the actions that got us the success if we want to keep having the success.
Yeah, I think also too, it's like biggest month ever, most money we've ever seen in a bank account. So we're like, all right, cool, we don't need to go as hard. And then
That's the
I
other
felt
part.
kind of
Resting
embarrassed
on your
after-
laurels, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I felt embarrassed after 2 months of not doing deals. I'm just like, bro, we just did like 10 in 1 month on our cell phones and Podio, like literally nothing. Like, well, how have we not done a deal? So I was kind of embarrassed, and that kind of got that fire again to like go do shit instead of just, all right, cool, we did it, so like we can take off. And then after 2 months, it's like, all right, I'm sick of this. Like we need to do some real shit.
And we were trying to set up CRMs, trying to just overcomplicate it when, yeah, we did our first 25 deals just off of our cell phones, basically.
Are you guys still cell phone operated?
I mainly am. He's more on the CRM, but
We do have a CRM now. Basically,
well, for organizing and keeping your stuff together. And I get that. You're scaling your lead gen, but you're still doing the same activity. You're just automating it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, that makes sense. So consistency, making sure that you pivot away from trying to do all of the things. What would you say would be the last thing that you think is really important for someone who's just wanting to get started or is kind of like on the fence about, what they're doing or if this is even going to work for them?
I think you got to find your tribe and just find the people that you want to work with and collaborate with. And like, you also realize there are competition, right? Because you're competing at the same deal, they're competing at the same deal, but whoever gets it, you can still do the deal and still get paid on it. So don't think I got to be solo operation and I'm not going to work with anyone. You got to rely on everyone else to get deals done. So just be open-minded to working with other people and not just like, I'm closing my lane and I'm not going to talk to anyone. Like, you're not going to do any business that way.
But we were talking with Matthew Justice. Jeremy was the one that we actually did, that 100K month with. But
I'm on my team.
Yeah. We just found someone who really understood the game and is doing a whole bunch of volume and just relying on them, and we're bringing them value by the deals. And then in return for that value, they're pouring into us trying to sharpen our skills. But I think just like leaning on the ones that are already crushing it.
What's your average day look like now, like time-wise?
Wake up at 6 a.m., box from 6:30 to 8 a.m., and then after that, we'll jump in the cold plunge now that we got one, which is sick. And then we're just working from 8:39 until sleep, basically. We'll eat every once in a while in there. But yeah.
You guys are still hitting it pretty hard.
Yeah, we're hitting it, and we have a team now too, so it's cool.
Okay.
We're coaching them, and they're all getting deals, which is great. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And that gives you guys the opportunity to come hang out here and just have a good day.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. Well, I mean, congrats, guys. This is pretty dope. I'm excited to continue building with you guys and seeing what you're gonna do next. What is next on the horizon? Like, what are the Trainer Brothers working on right now?
We're trying to actually blow it up on social media.
Yep.
But the point is we're just trying to create as many opportunities as possible for our team. So like, we just took on a dispo guy last week, passing over all our buyer relationships onto him. We're still staying in touch with everyone and making a smooth transition. But our goal right now is just create as many opportunities, however that is, social media, doing like live Zoom calls, doing, collaborations like this, just trying to create as many opportunities for our team.
How do people find you? Are you on YouTube, or what's your Instas, or how do people get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, my Instagram is just Brandon Trana.
Mine's Dylan Trana.
That's it. You on YouTube yet?
We need to start that. Yeah,
we have one YouTube video.
He's got a YouTube account.
Yeah.
All right. So
on our Instagram, there's a video.
Yeah, start a YouTube channel here pretty soon. But guys, make sure you give both of these guys a follow. They're hilarious. And not only that, but they're making money. They're proving it every single day. And I'm sure you guys are still looking for people on your teams, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys are interested in joining a team, reach out to the trainers. If you guys are wanting to learn more about what wholesaling is and you're looking for mentorship and guidance in it, you can also come into the Astro community. Just go to go.astroflipping.com, speak to somebody on my team. But congrats, guys. You guys are crushing it, man.
Thank you, brother.
Good to see you guys killing it and keeping going. I'm happy that you guys still have some brain cells left after all the weed, and you guys are still making money.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in the next one, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more Astro Flippers, young ones, old ones, anyone in between that are killing it in the game, just keep coming back to this channel, because I've always got lots and lots of people. I've trained over 4,500 people in this business, and you could be the next. Matty J,
Jamil,
Astro Flipping Superstar. What's up, bro?
my man, how you doing?
Good, dude. You just moved in down the road.
Yes, sir, from the butthole of Arizona.
So, yeah, I mean, you did live in the butthole of Arizona. Like, why were you in Tucson?
I moved from LA to go to school in Tucson. I went to U of A and graduated.
Oh, college move.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to U of A. What did you take in college?
I graduated with a communication degree.
What does somebody do with the communications?
Honestly, I don't know.
You can't tell me what your top things you learned in a communications degree
Oh,
was?
definitely not. College didn't teach me really anything. And
How much did it cost?
A lot of money. A lot of money.
Do you have like a dollar amount?
No, I'm very grateful my parents paid for it.
Oh,
so
lucky dude. Lucky dude. Yeah.
I'm very blessed.
50,000 maybe, 100,000.
50,000, I think, a semester, because I was out of state. And I didn't get any scholarships or anything, so I was paying full price.
Per semester, and there's 2 semesters a year.
Yeah.
So $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
$400,000, you think?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ROI for you on college?
Well, I mean, I make a lot of money now.
But you didn't use any of the. Well, are there any of the skills that you learned in college translating right now into how you make money?
Did I learn it from classes? No. But the things that I learned in school, from being at school, from going somewhere where I knew a ton of people to then moving to a place where I didn't know anyone and had to go and make friends, yes. I came from a big city knowing a ton of people to a place where I didn't know anyone, had to go and learn how to make friends. So that was a skill I learned. I was already introverted, and so that was pretty difficult. And then meeting friends and getting involved in other things brought me to actually door knocking for a solar company, which then taught me sales, which brought me to the point where I was like, I know I need to do some type of sales job because I really like getting paid based off my performance. And so when I graduated, I knew I needed to do that, which then led me to finding out about real estate and getting into wholesaling.
Damn, what a cool thing. Okay, so $400,000 in college education. You learned how to make friends, which is an incredibly valuable skill, I have to say. I mean, I think you could have done that just moving from LA to Tucson and not having gone to school, but I mean, whatever, right? Potato, potato. So you graduate from college, you learn about, how'd you even learn about wholesaling?
YouTube and Google.
YouTube and Google. Okay, so you're like Googling how to make money online or like...
That's literally what I looked up. How do I make money? And real estate was like top 5 on everything. And then I was like, okay, how do I get into real estate with no money? And then wholesaling came up and I'm like, all right, well, how do I wholesale real estate? And then your YouTube came up, Brent Daniel's YouTube came up, and I just started studying. And then that's how I found out about it and got into it.
And then what, did one of my ads target you?
No, actually. So what happened was I knew about astro flipping just through your YouTube channel. And then the property that I lived in, my parents owned. And so they're like, hey, you might as well try and wholesale this thing since you're getting into this industry. Just try it out, see if you could get a buyer. I'm like, okay, cool. So the only thing I knew how to do was post it on Facebook. And I posted it on Facebook, and the person that reached out to me was Brandon Trana.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, that's how I met Brandon. And so I started talking to Brandon. He had a buyer for it. Then my mom was like, I don't want to sell it. But grew an amazing brotherhood.
So you, wait. Did you like not do the deal with Brandon on that?
No.
Was he pissed off?
A little bit.
That's so good, dude. I had no idea about this story.
He still gives my mom crap about it.
Because she yanked the deal.
Yeah.
She was just effing around to see if you could actually do it?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened.
Bro, I gotta rag your mom about that.
Yeah, that's funny, right?
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a failed wholesale deal for your parents' property in Tucson?
Yep.
And then, is that where you were living just now?
Yeah.
So you still have that property?
Yep. And now
Okay.
they just, they're renting it now.
Well, good thing they didn't sell it at that time because it's probably gone up like tremendously since.
Yep.
So it was a good move for mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so you meet Brandon Trana, and he tells you about me, obviously, because he
Yeah.
had been in the Astro community and he started catching
Yeah.
some traction and doing well.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "What? You gotta like come in and how did that go down? Did you
Yeah.
ask him like, how did you get into it, or like
Yeah.
what was the scoop?"
Yeah, so I started asking him, like, how'd you get into wholesaling? Like, who are you learning from anyone? He's like, yeah, I'm actually a part of this program called Astro Flipping, if you know who Jamil Damji is. I'm like, bro, I watch his YouTube all the time. Like, what do you think about it? I was thinking of trying to get into Astro, and he was like, dude, it's the best. Like, I've learned so much. And next day, I hopped on the phone with one of your salespeople and joined right away.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And what did your mom and dad think about that?
They honestly are the best parents. Like, I could not have been more blessed. They are so supportive of everything that I've done. And they're like, if you really think this is the right move, we'll help you out with whatever it is, you know? And they're like, go for it. I think you should do it.
I know your parents, and so I like can absolutely hear them saying that because your mom and your dad are both like so kind and they love you so much. They're your biggest fan.
Yeah.
They think the world of you and they know that you're going places, which you obviously are. So talk to me. Like, you've been in this game now for a minute. How old are you?
25.
You're 25 years old. You're young, dude. Jeez. I'm only gonna be 46 this year.
Age is just a number.
I mean, no, but okay. So, 25 years old, and like, what's your business looking like right now?
Right now, we're doing anywhere about 3 to 5 deals a week.
Okay, and that equals what?
About 75 to 95 grand a month.
What are your expenses?
Right now, for systems, VAs, stuff like that, I pay about like 10 grand a month just to keep the business running.
So like you're like $55 to $70,000 net take home.
Yeah.
What are you doing with all your money?
I just bought my second property.
Buying rentals?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Are you doing co-living in them?
Well, so these two are that I both bought are in Tucson.
Okay.
One's a duplex, so I'm just gonna do a traditional long-term rental on that one, and then the other one I just bought, I am gonna most likely do like a lease option rent to own on it.
Okay, so you're gonna do like a creative deal on it.
Yeah.
That's cool. You got to get into a co-living deal with me, bro.
Yeah, I would love to.
30%. That's my
know.
ROIs on those are insane. Plus the tax benefits. We can talk about that another day.
Right.
All right. So, a couple of years that you've been at the game. How many years have you been at it now?
3.
3 years.
Yep.
So you started when you were 22.
Yeah.
You're 25 now. What are the 3 things that you've learned in this business, whether it be personal or financial?
I would say the number one thing, the most important thing, is prioritizing relationships, and not just relationships with like those around you, but your relationship with God. I think that is the number one reason for my success today, is because I've learned to grow my relationship with the Lord and submit to Him and learn that He's gonna help take care of all of my problems and everything that I go through. So to not really stress about the little things, and that He will just always provide. Even when times are tough, He will always provide and help get you through it. So I think that's number one, is relationships. And then obviously, second to Him, our Lord.
Were you always like a spiritual guy?
I was always a believer, but never to the point where I was actively trying to grow my relationship with Him.
What changed?
I don't know. I just knew that my reflection of my relationships in my life, I think, are a reflection of your relationships with your Creator. And so I just wanted to get better. I'm the type of person that never really gets complacent. I always want to grow. And I knew that I needed to grow my relationship with my Lord to be able to grow really anything that I wanted in life.
That's a really beautiful thing to say, and I know that about you. I mean, we definitely intertwine spirituality and finance in our community, which not a lot of people do, and I do catch a lot of flack for, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I know what has gotten me to the places that I've gotten to in my life, and it definitely is a spiritual process for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right, so your relationships, what else?
I would really just like to say too, real quick, I think that first Astro call I joined and you prayed on it, I almost started crying, because I was like, I knew this was the place for me to be. Like, I knew God did all these things to lead me to you, to then help me go and do this thing. So I think that's beautiful that you do that. And like, who cares about all the flack that you get,
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've gotten some hate mail for it, but I also, I don't want people to think that that's like the majority. I do get like hate mail for it, but then I get a tremendous amount of people saying thank you for not being scared to do that, so
yeah,
it goes both ways. I think there's people out there who appreciate it, and there's people out there who don't appreciate it, and I think it's all a factor of where you are in your life. And for the ones who don't appreciate it, I don't have anything negative to say, or I like nothing against it. It's like my beliefs don't need to be yours, and it's totally cool. Like, you'll come to your spot when it's time.
Yeah.
And it's not my job, or that's between you and what you want to deal with inside of you, right? So
100%.
That's cool, dude. So you've got a great relationship with God. You've got a great relationship with your parents. I know the friends that you rock with, so and I know you're a really good friend of them. What else do you think's made you successful?
I think the second thing that I learned is that the world is a mirror. It's not like a window. You don't just whatever you actually put into the world, you get back in return. And I pretty much learned that from you, just listening to you through YouTube and obviously through Astro and all the courses and everything. But it's like, really, whatever it is that you want, you have to go and put it into the world first, and then you'll get it in return. So whether that's like love, if you want love, go and give love, and then you'll actually receive it in return. I learned that too from the book The Go-Giver.
Great book.
Yeah.
That was a huge book for me.
Yeah.
I think it definitely changed my perspectives reading it, because I didn't always have an abundant mindset by any means. Like I struggled with a lot of fear and scarcity in my mind and in my heart. And you know, it's like, it's a natural thing, I think, just because we're hardwired to be, I mean, our brains are so stingy, you know, like if you think about how much information your brain actually dilutes or ignores or suppresses so that you save calories, you would realize like how stingy your brain is. And if your brain is that stingy just on caloric intake, if your brain now associates the amount of money that you have with your capacity to survive, you will naturally think scarcity thoughts, and you'll have those emotions that link with that, because your brain is hardwired for you to survive. And so it's actually counterintuitive to the human condition to give, to be abundant, to not think about where's my next meal coming from, and feeling like your next meal will find you, you know, like you'll be okay. And that, you know, the Buddhist culture, actually the Buddhist monks have a really beautiful representation of this. They don't, you know, work for money. They go out and they essentially beg for food. Like the community takes care of them, right? And it's really about that concept of your, you know, if you take care of the community takes care of you. And so, you know, monks, they get taken care of by the people around the monastery because of that, right? So it's an interesting phenomenon. In that book, The Go-Giver, there's so many examples of where successful people got that success because they gave to somebody first. And there's a funny thing about giving. Like if you give with the expectation of receiving, that's also not giving, because that's just you making an investment. Right. Giving isn't an investment. Giving is just an act. And if you treat it like, okay, well, I'm going to give with no expectation, that is what I think magnetizes you to receiving.
100%. Do you think like if you give, and let's just say like the expectation is not like great, but you do expect like to receive something maybe even like later in the future, that's still giving with an expectation to receive?
I think that you can feel like, hey, I give because I know I'm going to be taken care of. That is what I think you're saying.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think that that's tying it to the giving, the act of giving, because I think what ends up happening is that when you give to somebody, you're expecting that person you gave to is who's going to give back.
Right.
And that's where I think the expectation of receiving gets it twisted. Yeah. Because if I give this guy, you know, a help, and that guy just kind of takes my help and runs away with it, and I'm like, oh, that guy sucks. But not knowing that, like, okay, I give this guy help, he takes my help and runs away with it, fine, but then I get help by somebody completely unrelated to that. Your brain may not be able to form the connection between, oh, I gave here and then I received over here, and it came to me in a format or a form or a conduit that was completely unrelated to the person I gave to. I think that's the magic of what happens in this like beautiful orchestra of life that we live in. And so as long as you know that, like, okay, I'm giving to give, but when I am receiving, I'm going to receive it in a way that is not of my choosing. It's going to be of, you know, the universe or God's choosing. And so I'm just in faith knowing that it'll find me. So no, I don't think that that's an expectation. I think that's just understanding the concept.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. Yeah, that's really good.
What else would you say did it?
I think the last thing, or the third thing I would say that did it, is learning what you chase runs away.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You know, like especially when first starting, you're like, man, I want that first deal. I want to check. And so you really like chase it. But it's not about chasing and like really going after the thing. Obviously you have to go and put in the work, but you have to be that person first to even get that thing. And like you've said too, you can't walk through a door that you've never walked through before, you know? So it's all like the same thing. You have to be the thing first, or be that person first, to even obtain the goal that you're trying to get. And I think that's huge. And I think that's why it took me a bit to become consistent too in actually doing deals, because I wasn't that person that was consistently doing deals first. And like, it was just tough. Like, I was just chasing can I get 3 deals this month? Can I get 5 deals this month? Not trying to actually attract it. Like, there's a difference between chasing and attracting things. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned.
It's really true, dude. The reality is, like, it's so many examples of that in life. Like, I've got a 15-year-old daughter, and, you know, of course, I'm doing my best to be in her life. But I feel like the more that I'm, like, on her, the more she's like, leave me alone. Not to say that I make her chase me, but like, I show up and then I just let what happens, you know? But even like my dog, if I let my dog runs out of the house or whatever, right? If I start chasing that fucker, he's gone, dude. But if I call him and he sees me and I go the other direction, he's chasing me now, right? And so it's like, even instinctually for like a dog, they're like, oh yeah, I know, now it's my turn to chase you. So it's like, you almost gotta be like neutral, or like not even care. Like, you know, I'm not only am I neutral about this, but like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But it's really hard to do that, because if we're like feeding ourselves from the business model, it's difficult to detach yourself from the result.
It really is. I think that's one of the hardest things to do.
What do you do to do that? Like, what are some of the exercises and practices that you do to keep yourself neutral like that?
Pray. I pray a lot. Pray about the work that I'm doing, and that I'm just touching people, you know, and focusing on the relationship, and knowing again that I'm going to get taken care of later, but having the confidence that it will happen, but just doing the work and learning to just enjoy the work. You know, it's like the same thing at the gym. It's just all about delayed gratification, right? Like, you don't go to the gym and all of a sudden you're skinny the next day. It's like, you got to continuously keep grinding at the gym. You got to eat right, you know, and then months go by and then you start looking a little bit better. Like, you start to notice a change, you know, and then after a year, you're like, holy crap, I'm a completely different person.
Right.
You know, so it's the same thing. It's just learning to enjoy the little things, I think.
Yeah, like the process of doing, right? I don't know who said it, but like, you know, everybody wants to hear about your success, but nobody cares about what you had to do to get that.
Yeah.
You know, like, you want the Cybertruck, but like, how many hours did I have to work? You know, like, what did I have to do in my life to be in the situation or the position to afford it, right? So it's like, it's an interesting reality, I think. It's just understanding that there's absolutely nothing that happens that's easy, that's good.
Right.
You're not gonna, like, money just doesn't fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people who get into wholesaling or get into the online space, or they Google like how to make money, or how to make money online, or how to make money from home, a lot of times who you attract are people that just want it to fall out of the sky. You know, it's not that money falls out of the sky, but you can attract it to you almost as if it does, you know?
Right.
But it's a manifestation process. And so it's really cool, dude, at 25 years old that you figured this stuff out. Like, what's next for you? What do you hope to be and do by the time you're as old as me?
I don't know. I think I would like a huge family. I'd like to be able to travel the world with my family. And
like, how big? Like Jerry Norton big?
Yeah, that would be dope.
Like 10 kids big?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I at least want like a full basketball team with some subs, you know, just in case someone wants to run up on the family.
Hilarious, dude. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen how Jerry has to move, and you should see how they shop at Costco.
Yeah.
Like, their Costco bill when they go is thousands.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Thousands of dollars.
That's why I'm in this business.
That's it.
You know, that's why I'm in real estate.
So, big family traveling the world. That's beautiful. What about mom and dad? Any plans for them? Or like, how do you repay this incredible parents that you, and not that they need anything from you, because I know that they're well off and they've got, you know,
Yeah.
Dad was chief of police. What did mom do?
My mom, she was a Mary Kay sales director.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
So she understands sales like nobody's business.
Yeah. So that's where I kind of got the entrepreneur bug from, was from her.
Really cool. Did she do well
Yeah.
at Mary Kay?
She was great. She drove a pink Cadillac.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
She's like the testimonial lady.
Yeah. She killed it. She was great. But for them, I would say I want to be able to have them like not ever have to worry about money. Like, I just want them to have consistent checks coming in, and just for me to be able to take care of them.
Are you starting a YouTube channel at all?
Yeah, I just started one actually.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's Matthew Justice 22.
Okay, guys, do this. Go subscribe to Matthew Justice's YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're brand new here. I will be giving you all kinds of content on real estate investing, wholesaling, co-living, how to make money, also take care of yourself and your mind, because I think that's super important. If you have any comments or if there's anything that Matt said that is resonant with you, leave it in the comments. And your Instagram?
Matthew Justice 22.
Matthew Justice, what's up with 22?
That's just my birthday.
Matthew Justice 22. Later!
Heck yeah.
John,
What's going
thanks
on?
for walking these beasts with me here.
Yeah, of course. Looks like you use the help.
Yeah, well, dude, I tried to walk both of them together at one time. The new puppy here, she just like bowled me over. So you're in Phoenix. What's up?
What's going on, man?
How's business been?
It's been great. You know, we crossed over $1 million in revenue in October, over 100 deals for 2024. So, you know, it's been great. We've been building up the team. So I'm trying not to be as involved in the day-to-day, but, you know, that's probably the hardest part is just the people. The deals are easy, though.
So what does that look like now? Because you're one of the ones who have like systemized their business and scaled it to where you've got a team going. Well, how many people you got on your team now?
Now, after we got rid of 2 or 3 of them, we got like 15 people on the team.
15 people?
Yeah. I have 3 people calling agents. They live in America. One's in Florida. I have another one in Georgia, and then I have another one who's actually from New York who wants to move to Florida.
Okay.
And then I have 1 dispo rep who lives in Florida, 2 VAs on the dispo side. I have 1 VA who's from the Dominican Republic who's talking to wholesalers, managing like our deals email and going back and forth. I'm still closing most of the wholesalers. And then we have a couple of virtual assistants that are doing some admin stuff or some things on the dispo side like buyer intake and managing like the buy boxes and all that good stuff.
Okay, so that you're still needed for the wholesaler relationships?
Yeah, so like we're always looking to hire, you know,
Yep.
because sometimes people aren't what they say they are, and
Yeah.
you know, you find out that you're looking for something different. So always looking for people for sales, for dispo. You know, we have an integrator and an underwriter right now who are doing really well together, but always looking for dispo and sales roles.
Okay. What would you say are the like 3 like biggest lessons you've learned in doing this for as long as you've been? How long have you been at it now? When did you join me?
I joined you December of 2021.
Okay.
And I started making my first call in January of 2022.
And that was a weird time too, because you started crushing it in 2022 when the market turned.
Yeah, you know, I was doing everything. I wasn't really sure what I was doing, but one of the things that quickly learned in the beginning was that mindset is everything. That was like the most important thing I've learned from, you know, my journey as a business owner and also through the Astro program was that, you know, mindset is everything. That week 1 was on mindset, and I noticed like when I wasn't getting deals done, I was focused on the wrong thing. Like, you know, I would like to get a deal done or maybe one day, or I didn't actually think it was gonna happen. And then I noticed like when I shifted my mindset, I got a deal done within like 2 weeks. And then everything that's happened, like if I'm complaining about something, then I'm focusing on something I don't want to happen. I'll just get more of that. And then when I'm grateful about for something, I'll just see a plethora of deals coming in and assignments. So
You would say that like your mental attitude, whether or not you're focusing on the problems or focusing on negativity or focusing on things not happening,
yep.
that then just brings more negativity and more things not happening.
Yep.
Versus if you're in it thinking about, you know, the things that you're grateful for, the things you do know, and the things that are working, that it works better for you.
Yeah, I mean, like whatever you focus on, wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. So like,
Yep.
if I'm focusing on, I'm always canceling deals, I can't find agents that want to work with me, then I'm just gonna, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So now if I'm focusing on like, hey, I'm always getting deals done, I'm always finding deals, agents love talking to me, I'm amazing on the phones, that's what becomes my, you know, my new reality, and that's my identity. So then things just start shifting that way. So all of the stuff that has happened to me is like, I'm not surprised about it because that's what I was focusing on happening.
Right.
You know, so it's not like, oh, like, are you surprised that you've done this many deals? Like, no, because that was my intention the whole time I was doing it. So like mindset is everything. I think business is 80% mindset, 20% action. But it's not like, you know, if you're working 10 hours a day, you're 8 hours meditating and 2 hours making calls.
Right.
It's just you take intentional action. So your action that you take, it means something, right? It's more like needle moving activities, or you're doing the right things. It's not all busy work and nonsense where I'm fixing my CRM for 6 hours in a day, not making any calls. I'm actually doing the right actions that I need to take.
Right.
And I'm doing it with a high vibrational state with the higher like energy thought process. And so now I start attracting things. Like if you think like assignments, right? If assignments vibrated on like level 200, and I'm just always in a constantly.
When you say level 200, explain that for people who don't understand what you're talking about.
So like in the book Power versus Force, David Hawkins talks about
Yep.
like the energy
Level of
scale,
conscious.
yeah, and like anything below 200 is low vibration, like fear, guilt, anxiety, shame, yeah. And then I think love might be at 200, or I forgot which one was 200, but basically 200 up, that's more higher vibration states.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not saying an assignment vibrates at the same level as love, but let's just say, just for the sake of this example, if an assignment or deals or whatever, right, or just success in the business vibrates at level 200.
Yeah.
Let's just say, if I'm constantly in a state of like frustration or anxiety and I'm vibrating at level 100, I can't attract a level 200 if I'm always on a level 100 vibration. So like one of the things I realized with the mindset is raising my vibration.
What do you do to raise it? I know I've talked about some techniques before on the channel here, and I've shared some with you, but everybody's kind of individuated, and we all have the things that work for us best. What's been working for you best?
Well, for me, it's been meditations. Meditation helps me a lot, but visualizing is the most important thing for me. Like writing down my goals, writing down what I want to accomplish, and visualizing it, like feeling the feeling, because you don't manifest, and this is something I've heard from Wayne Dyer, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. So by becoming the person I want to be, with all my dreams and goals like achieve, and enveloping that feeling and feeling it, it changes your identity, and you start acting differently, moving differently, believing differently. The thoughts I start thinking are different, and even taking like thought audits where I'm like, what did I think about today? Like, was it negative? Like, okay, what's going on in the business? Am I focusing on the fact that deals aren't getting done? Like, where does my focus on right now? How
Right.
many negative thoughts did I have today? Can I change any of those? And then I'll try to rewire the situations in my head by
How do you catch
revisualizing.
them, and how do you track them? Like, are you like aware when you're in a spot where you're like, oh damn, I'm feeling like, because I've had it happen to me where I've been, in a thought loop where it's
Yep.
not been the best,
Yeah,
content
yeah.
per se. I'm like angry about something, or I'm frustrated about someone, or whatever it is, right? And I can get myself kind of looped in that space, and I don't catch it. I don't catch it quickly. Like it might take me half a day, but sometimes it could take me a couple of days
Yeah.
to even realize that I've been in a funk.
Yep.
How are you catching that? And like, what's your process for thought auditing?
Yeah, so I mean, like the way I catch it, I could feel it. You know what I mean? Like I could feel like, wait, I'm feeling a little, off right now, or I'm feeling a little like frustrated, or I'm feeling a little anxious, or feeling a little overwhelmed. Like you feel it first, and then I'm like, okay, wait. If I'm feeling off, let me stop what I'm doing. Why am I feeling off right now? What's the reason? Is it because, okay, now I start seeing the thoughts like, well, I subconsciously am remembering the fact that, maybe it's the end of the month and we didn't do as many deals as I wanted to, or maybe we're not at where I wanted to be on the delegation side of things. So that's on my mind. And the first time I say like, well, why do I feel off? I know why. It comes to me when I actually ask the question. And so like when I feel off, then I'm like, all right, let me write down why I feel off, and then let me just rephrase it, reframe it, and be like, why should I be grateful of where I'm at? Because I'm where I'm supposed to be, but I'm not behind, I'm not ahead, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. There's a path that I'm following, and I'm on it. So let me just be grateful. So now I start doing that. But most of the way I know I'm off is just by feeling it. And if I feel weird or off, I'm just like, all right, what's the problem? And then I'm like, all right, now how do I correct this? How do I get over this? How do I get back to like being in a state of gratitude? Because I just know like right now, this isn't going to be what I need to do.
Do you ever like just go back to thinking about what life was like before?
Yeah. I do. I go back to the moment that I decided to even do this, because this wasn't even something I had thought about.
Right.
Like I was on a ferry ride home during busy season, and I was like, let me just listen to this podcast. And then that podcast led me to a Facebook group, and that Facebook group led me to Secret Agent Challenge, and then accidentally getting on a call with Astro Flipping led me to joining and basically quitting my job a lot earlier than I thought, and opening my mind to just a whole lot more that's out there, and really changing me from like a negative type of realist to like a dreamer, and knowing that there's possibilities are endless.
Dude, this dog is like wants to choke him.
I know.
Henry, come on.
All I hear
bro.
is just him.
Dude, you sound like you've been smoking for 60 years. Chill.
It's okay, buddy.
Chill. Okay? Just relax. I don't want to choke you. I'm not trying to. What the hell, man? Come on, Henry. Stop pulling. Dude, I spent $7,000 training this dog.
Really?
Yeah. Do you
Dude,
think they'll give me a refund?
maybe if you show the video of him walking like this.
God, Rob's Dogs in Phoenix, guys. Great. All right, so you've got, the things you're grateful for. You came into this community, off of like a accident, which wasn't an
Wasn't
accident.
it? And I felt it in the moment. Like I remember that moment. I'll always remember that moment because I just finished actually reading the book called The Power of Moments, and
Yeah.
that was a defining moment in my life because I just remember sitting there like, how did I even get here? And like, I'm not gonna lie, like my life like kind of flashed before my eyes, like how I even ended up in this position, like where I said I would never be. And then I just remember making that decision and just feeling like really feeling. I didn't make it a logical choice. Like it was a kind of an emotional decision I made to do this because I just felt it in my gut super strong. Like, hey, this is gonna be one of the moments where you're either gonna seize it or you're gonna let it pass. And you know, if you don't seize it, you're gonna regret it. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And I did it.
That was like one of those Eminem moments.
Yeah, basically.
So your mindset is 1,000% one of your cheat codes.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, systematizing. Like, I didn't consider myself like a systems type of guy, right? But then I started realizing, like, with business and in life, like, you need a system. If you don't have a system, because I think in Atomic Habits, he says, like, you don't fall to the level of your habits, you rise to the level of your system, something like that. I forgot what it was. Basically, he's basically saying, like, it's your systems. The systems make the habits and everything. And if you have a good system in place, you know, you'll be fine. It's where the way we're wired and everything. Even with businesses, like if you don't have a good system in place, you're not gonna be able to hire people, delegate. You're gonna always be in the business. You'll always be self-employed. You'll never have the business if you don't have a system. And even with life, like you need a system for your calendar. You need a system for your time. You need a system for your activities and education and all that stuff. So figuring out a good system in both business and life has been another thing that I've worked on because entrepreneurs in the beginning, when you're just figuring out, it's all chaotic and I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. Like I don't have time to see my family. I don't have time to do anything but the business. But when you start systematizing it and, you know, really figuring out a good system for your time, your focus, and your attention, I mean, you realize you can just do a lot more in such a short period of time if you're just more intentional, focused.
Do you live by your calendar now?
I do.
Yeah.
If it's not on my calendar, I'm not gonna remember.
Dude, I'm the exact same way. And I know people get frustrated with me because they're like, you're never open. It's like, yeah, well, I'm booking out like 2 months in advance.
Yep.
But I'm doing that intentionally because I don't want to mess around, you know?
Yeah.
And I also don't want to put myself in a situation where I waste a day because that happens.
Dude, that's one of the worst things that could happen is somebody asks you like, what did you do today? And you go, I don't know.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
what was the point of
Or like,
those 2
or
hours?
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Even with my girlfriend, I'm like, she's like, hey, we got to do this. I'm like, dude, just put it in the calendar. I was like, if you don't put it in the calendar, I will not remember. I guarantee you that.
Are you scheduling getting laid?
Yep, that's got to happen. You know, sometimes I almost get laid every day. Almost on Monday, almost on Tuesday, almost.
Almost? That's great. All right. Well, systematize and having a process for life and business. I love that. A lot of people just think it's just business, but also life for sure. I mean, I can say that I probably failed at that, you know, given the fact that my marriage fell apart last year, which was terrible. And, you know, I know that that happened because I didn't prioritize the relationship the way that I was prioritizing the business.
Right.
And I wasn't systemizing the things that I needed to do in the relationship to nurture it the way that I did the business. Like I was so good at making sure that I'm on my coaching calls 7 hours at a time. Yet, you know, when I'm at dinner with my wife, was I scrolling through text messages and responding to DMs?
Yep.
You know, that's exactly what I was doing. And so that's the unfortunate part. I should have had a system in place. All right, so systemizing life and business. What else?
The other one where I didn't think I would ever do is social media. It's a very powerful tool. When you're making content or even thinking about it, just like don't worry about what other people are going to say because whoever's going to listen to your story is going to listen to it regardless, and whoever's not is still not. So don't make videos or not make videos because of the opinions of the people that aren't even going to be in your circle or your followers anyway.
So, you know, that was something that I know for me when I was first starting to post on social media. You know, it was COVID time.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm bored. Like, there's nothing else to do. And I didn't really care about what anybody thought about what I was posting. So I just kind of went crazy, you know? And I think that is probably why it picked up so much traction then, because I wasn't creating content for an audience. I was creating a content for me.
Yep.
You know, and like everything that I was posting was like, what would I want to hear 3 years ago? Like, what would Jamil from 3 years ago want to know today?
Yeah. And focusing on yourself and not like, well, let me focus on other people, like what's going to sound cool, or, you know, I don't want to say anything like just doing it genuinely is also what made the content much better.
Yeah. You know, I'm super proud of where you've gone, John. This is like such an interesting and cool time. You know, I've been obviously doing a lot more holding in my business now, you
Yeah.
know, like I'm still wholesaling crazy, but like one of the things I hope you'll get to at some point is really understanding that active income is awesome, but like making passive income is another really important thing. So as you continue to grow, advice I'd want to give to you right now is like, if I looked at the 7,000 plus wholesale deals I've done, if I'd kept 10% of those,
Yeah.
my net worth would be in the hundreds and hundreds of millions, you know, whereas, you know, I'm not there
Right.
because I took all of that as active income.
Right.
You know,
and then
so
the IRS took a little bit more.
and
of
the
that, too.
IRS took a lot of that. And so, you know, I could have been using better tax strategies by owning more real estate. I sent the IRS $1.2 million this year.
That is crazy.
It makes me want to vomit.
Saying it out loud, right?
When you say it out loud, it's real. Awesome, dude. It's really great to see that. I would just suggest, you know, start holding some stuff. Look at co-living. It's the best business model I've ever seen. Better than multifamily. The returns are like 30% plus.
That's crazy.
You know, you can cost seg those houses too.
Yep.
And get bonus depreciation on them as well, so it'll save you money on taxes. All cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
Well, John, how do people get a hold of you? Because I know they're going to want to follow you on social media. Are you doing YouTube yet?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm John Galan REI. That's JOHNGALANREI. And then on YouTube, me and my business partner Helena, we have a podcast. So it's called Business Builders on YouTube. You could find the link in my bio on Instagram if you can't find it on YouTube.
Guys, go give John a follow on Instagram and also check out his YouTube channel, subscribe to that. And also, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and let me know in the comments what stood out to you most about John's whole process. Was it the mindset? Was it systemizing his business and his personal life? Or was it social media? Or was it all three? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.